Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're a fan of true crime, unsolved disappearances or just generally strange phenomena, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be up to date when new videos are posted. Today's video is looking at the case of Klara Mauerova, also known as Kurim's cannibal mother, a woman from the Czech Republic who actually ate part of her children. I'll put a disclaimer here. If you think this video may upset or disturb you, please feel free to click off now and I'll see you again soon. With that being said, let's get into today's video. Klara Mauerova was born in 1975 in Kurim, Czechoslovakia, which is now present day the Czech Republic / Czechia. Klara had a sister named Katerina. From an early age, Klara and Katerina both experienced hallucinations and delusions, with them both having mystical inclinations caused by their early onset schizophrenia. Both girls were convinced that they had a mission to carry on for God. Both the sisters attended university, although Klara was the first to leave home. Klara married a man named Radek Kufel, and they had two sons, Ondřej and Jakub. When the boys were very young, Radek left the family, expressing fear at Klara's strange behaviour and violent outbursts. Despite sources stating Klara was indeed a good and caring mother to her sons early on, once the boys' father had left, Klara's mental health began to deteriorate and she moved in with her sister Katerina. Klara settled into life with her sisters and young sons. Not long after this, both sisters met a Scandinavian woman, Barbora Shkrilova, a 33-year-old woman with a criminal background who was also an award-winning composer. Sources state that Klara met Barbora while attending university studying pedagogy, which is teaching. Barbora had a glandular condition which made her look a lot younger than her age, something she used to her advantage. Barbora was no stranger to criminal offences, often pretending to be a minor to avoid any charges. Barbora had even pretended to be a 13-year-old girl named Annika when she emigrated from Scandinavia to Czechoslovakia. Shortly after Klara and Katerina met Barbora introduced the sisters to her father, a cult leader known by the name of the Doctor. The cult in which they joined was known as the Grail Movement. The cult believed that they would get into heaven by doing good deeds, but also believed they were absolved to commit crimes. The Doctor would communicate with the cult through text message, recommended they practice cannibalism, sexual promiscuity, and incest. Once the sisters had joined the cult, Barbora, who was now living with Klara and her sons, started to become jealous that Klara would pay more attention to Ondřej and Jakub than herself. Barbora would cause trouble and cause mischief, then pin the incidents on the boys, which would then incite anger from Klara to Ondřej and Jakub. With Klara already vulnerable, suffering from schizophrenia, she was easily manipulated by Barbora into carrying out harsh punishments to her sons. These punishments were extreme, with Barbora convincing Klara and the boys that they should be kept in cages and torture them in the home's basement. The women's torture methods were horrendous, with the boys being burnt with cigarettes, being gagged, whipped with belts, nearly drowned, forced to sleep naked in their own feces, bathed in cold water, and not fed regularly, so Barbora would try and convince them to participate in cannibalism. When not caged, the boys would be chained to a table and left to stand in their own urine. If either of the boys vomited, they would be forced to eat it. Klara, Katerina, and Barbora decided that the boys would be used for their cannibalistic ideology. Ondřej and Jakub would be forced to gain weight so that the cult could skin and eat the bodies. Once the boys had gained some weight, the women held Ondřej down and skinned his leg before eating his raw flesh. They did the same to Jakub and even forced the boys to eat their own flesh. The torture of Ondřej and Jakub continued for 1 year, from 2006 until May 2007, until a neighbour who had a baby monitor set up intercepted the monitors in the Mauerova's home, which showed the abuse of the two boys. The camera footage showed Ondřej and Jakub naked in cages. Klara had monitors set up so she could keep an eye on her sons from another room. The neighbour, horrified at what he had seen, sent the camera footage straight to the police as evidence. The police were called and arrested Klara and Katerina Mauerova, rescuing Ondřej, Jakub, and a 13-year-old girl, Annika, who identified herself as the boy's sister. Annika, however, was in fact Barbora and had disguised herself to avoid any criminal charges. The police, however, soon realised Annika was not in fact the boy's sister. Ondřej and Jakub were put in a children's home, and Barbora decided to go on the run. Before the police had chance to arrest Barbara, she shaved her head and fled countries to Oslo in Norway. There she took up a new identity as a 13-year-old boy named Adam. Barbara, as Adam, then enrolled in school. 8 months later, the police tracked down Barbara in Oslo and arrested her, bringing her back to Czechoslovakia. Once all 3 women were in custody, they turned on each other, each blaming the other. Klara's defence claimed that she had been brainwashed by the doctor, who would send her text messages telling her to inflict abuse and torture on her sons. Once investigated, the phone number supposedly from the doctor turned out to be Klara's sister, Katarina. Barbara's defence was that she too had been abused at the hands of the sisters, although the jury did not buy this claim. According to the prosecutors, the abuse the boys went through was part of the Grail movement, in which they break down the boys for religious purposes. The 3 women had also branched out of the cult and started recruiting more members. The cult required members to carry out physical devotion to prove their devotion to the cult. Those accused of the abuse were Klara and Klara Mauerova, Barbara Shkrilova, Jan Skala, and Jan Turek. Klara received a 9-year sentence, her sister Katarina received a sentence of 10 years in a maximum security prison, and the other 3 sentenced between 5 and 7 years. Barbara was jailed for 5 years, although all 3 women have since been paroled according to a source. As of today, I can't find any information on what happened to everyone involved in this case. If Klara and Katarina were jailed for 9 to 10 years and served their whole sentence, they would have been released around 2018. Barbara would have been released around 2012. I hope Onche and Jakob, who would now be in their early 20s, went on to have good lives after what they were put through. Before I end today's video, I'd be interested to know your thoughts on this case in the comments below. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel, give a like and a comment, and hit the notification bell to keep up to date when videos are posted. I'll be back soon with another video. Until next time, goodbye.